Welcome. It's time for your Mental Health Matters with Johanse Iodike, our behavioral change specialist. He joins us on the Zoom line, and it's a great way to start the second hour. Every Thursday, Johanse, you put forward some interesting concepts and themes, and well, today, I think you really went, you went really extreme with this one. I have no idea where we're going. I'm looking forward. The theme this morning, Nation, is keep left except when overtaken. And I know it's a traffic analysis, it's a traffic term really, but probably for something in life. Johanse, good morning, and I want for you to elaborate.
Good morning, Jason, and good morning to everyone viewing. Now, keep left when overtaken is not just a traffic term, that is actual law in Trinidad. And it was based mostly on a two-lane highway, two-lane road that you have to stay left no matter what the speed limit, and only come to the right lane when overtaken. Now, I bring this up because me driving on the highway, and personally, is a pet peeve of mine when people driving slow, and especially below the speed limit in the right lane, and especially when going south and where there are hills, you could actually see where that one person keeping back an entire line of traffic. And in my frustration at times, instead of just emoting or cussing and things, what I like to do is find out why. So I actually started asking people why this occurs, why would they drive like this? And it's the responses that really got me. So let me tell you. One response is fear. Fear, some people have fear of switching a lane. This was mostly women that said that. The second one was ignorance of the law. So some people said, once I go in the speed limit, I could stay in this lane and I don't have to move. And then the third one, and this was the most interesting one, some people said that because they're in the fast lane, they believe they were moving fast. Even if they saw other cars moving faster than them in other lanes, once in their mind, psychologically, they were in the fast lane, they're moving fast. Tell me your thoughts.
Very interesting. I mean, it makes total sense, and I wonder now if this road exercise, this road dynamic that we experience, because I also become a bit frustrated when that is what's happening in front of me. Do people also do that in the journey of life, I'm sure?
Yes, and that's the thing. So many times, let's go with fear first. Many people stay in their lane, stick to what they know, even though sometimes it may be detrimental to them, whether it is in a relationship, whether it is a certain method they approach to their work, whether it is even their method to bringing up their children, right? They stick to what they know and what they see, even whether it's working or not, because they are afraid to try something different. Secondly, some people in terms of ignorance, right? And ignorance don't mean that you're not intelligent. Ignorant means you just don't know a certain method of something. So you're just doing things and I don't want to change. I know what I doing. It worked for years and that is it. I'm not open to anything new. So the first one is fear of change. The second one is I just want to do what I want to do. It may not be fear at all. It could be you being own way, it could be being stubborn. And then the third one, some people think that what they're doing have no consequence to anyone else. And that they may not be keeping back an entire lane, an entire family, an entire nation, an entire organization, and even keeping back themselves.
How does one break the mold? How does one, one, firstly identify that there is clearly an issue here, you're fearful, you're being stubborn, you're stuck in your own ways and you're keeping everything back. So firstly, how do we identify that? And secondly, how do we break the mold?
Sometimes the first way to identify is being open-minded, because even though you think things are going fine, if many people around you are saying, something's wrong, right? Sometimes we think everyone is wrong around us, or something is wrong with the people around us, or the people in our lives, or every man here with something wrong with them, every woman here with something wrong with them, versus identifying maybe it's something to do with me. Now, I'm not saying that you're a bad person or something wrong with you, but there may be something to change. So firstly, if everything or things in life not going the way you wanted, firstly, look inwards and see what I could do differently. Secondly, you could do some research. Even though you think your life going well, even though things going well, things would always be a little better because none of us perfect. So if we come out of that comfort zone and just look, I want to be 1% better, 0.1% better, you will start getting new information. And then also observation, self-introspection, because sometimes when you look at yourself, you may not, maybe you may be able to see, but everything may not be going the way I want it to go. But sometimes we're so on the grind, we're so doing things, I want to keep this relationship, I want to make sure my children are okay, I want to keep this job, but we just keep looking forward and don't look back to see just in case if we're keeping some people back or even keeping ourselves back.
But I mean, when you think of certain responsibilities, now, yes, there is a fear, but also I'm sure there are many who hold their position because of responsibilities and trying to stay true to, let's say, the commitment to their wife. I guess in the case of some ladies, commitment to their husband, their children. In the case of some men, commitment to the young ones, probably a commitment to a parent, who would have had a struggle, and you want to ensure that you take them out of the circumstance. So you hold the ground and you just go through the grind to ensure that everyone around you is taken care of, because probably you don't want to follow people from the past. You want to probably break a family curse. You probably want to be better than who would have been there before you. What do you say to that individual this morning?
One, that is admirable, because I think all of us have something in our family, something in our generations to break, because our ancestors, fathers, mothers, etc., were not perfect, and there's something we need to do. But sometimes, if we look at it and approach it in a myopic point of view, we may miss something. So let's just say I grew up with no money or hardly any resources. So now I'm putting my hand to the wire and I'm making as much money as I can for my family. But then I neglect my family emotionally. Then I neglect my family because I'm not physically there, but I'm making the money and I make more money than my father or my grandfather. So certain things may need certain seasons. So yes, you could put your head to the wire and improve, but also sometimes stop and look back and see and look around, see what the car's doing, see what the traffic doing, to know if you need to stay in that right lane, or if you need to move, let someone else pass and go again.
Yeah. I guess, it comes back to what you mentioned all the time, being true to self, having balance. These are overarching themes, I recognize, when you give advice every Thursday. What about the person who is literally speeding down the lane? Again, no major responsibilities, but they just go in. Any opportunity, anything come their way, they just, they're fearless. Is that a good or bad thing? That person who dives and jumps into any scenario, they're constantly moving. They probably had 10, 15 jobs in the last 2 years. You can't hold them down at all, and say they're on the move. What do we say to that person?
Now, if we're using the analogy of driving on the highway, one, being fearless is a real good thing. But we also have to be mindful, one, if we're using the car analogy, if it's you alone, you single, and you could have 15 jobs and you're doing your thing, then that could be fine. Of course, once you're staying within the speed limit of the law, speed limit of even your own life. Because sometimes you could be doing too much and overexert yourself, and you self start to break down. Then, if we go in with the analogy now, if you're driving and you have people in the car, whether it is your family, friends, etc., now you have responsibilities. You may not be able to drive that fast anymore because now you have responsibilities and you're responsible for people. So being mindful of your situation, because who you are at 19, different who you are at 25, different who you are at 30. So every so often, take that analysis. If you're driving, if you're passing through you're driving in east, you're driving central, you're driving south, sometimes you have 3 lanes, sometimes you have 2 lanes. So it's to be mindful of the highway of life and where you're reaching that process.
Interesting. And again, I must say, I'm really happy. I wasn't really too sure what direction we were going this morning, and I get the theme and I get the topic in advance. I say, okay, let me see where Johansi is going, and I'm glad he kind of brought it back to life, that highway of life, that journey we all take. As you rightfully said, whether it's the highway, whether it's the main road, whether it's sometimes a lonely road with no pitch, and we go in. I actually call that lonely road the high road, because sometimes we need to take the high road in life. It's a road, I think it's bumpy, it's rough, but when we get to the top of that high road, it's a nice view. And that's when you sometimes, at least for me, you have to be the bigger person. You know, you take your ego out of it and you keep it pushing. But that's, I guess, a different conversation for a different day. I'll give you the final remarks as we wrap things up this Thursday morning, Yohanse.
Ladies and gentlemen, whatever road you are taking in life, ensure that you are aware of the rules of the road. Ensure that you are doing the best you can do for that specific situation. Don't make life complicated, because even though life is not easy, it's really not that hard. Thank you for listening.
And you're most welcome, Yohanse. Again, another successful Mental Health Matters Thursday. The topic today, keep left except when overtaken. All the best, Yohanse. God spare we do it again next week.
Thanks, man, Jason.
Yes, man. All the best. Important conversations. Important segment inside the program. This and every Thursday, right here on The Morning Brew. Let's take a break. We come back with the birthday shouts and get you ready for Ian Weeson, who steps in at 7:30. The Morning Shot, around the corner.